Shut up!
Welcome back to Conversations with Carol and Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Carol, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good.
So today we're talking about pregnancy, and I guess we're doing this in an order that some people don't do it in, and that's okay. Like,
Drink first and then have sex?
with yourself or with somebody else.
Hey, whatever moves you.
First I got the career, then the man, then the house, but you don't have to do it in that order, although I do recommend it. I was lucky. Cheryl, how far into your marriage were you before you had your son? No, your daughter.
My daughter.
Wait, which came first?
My
the
daughter.
Chicken.
Yeah. I had my daughter first,
Okay.
and I was just turned 30, so about 5 years.
You were married 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Before I got pregnant with my daughter. And it was one of those, do you want to have kids? I don't know. I don't think I'm ready yet. With them when I was ready. Do you want to have kids? I don't think I'm ready yet. Went back and forth, back and forth. Being responsible adults, we just threw caution to the wind, both subconsciously knowing it, both subconsciously okay with the outcome, but nothing really planned. And thank God.
Does that mean you went off birth control? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, luckily I got pregnant.
How long did it take?
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't...
Like months, years, weeks? Like a couple months?
I'd say a couple months.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's really funny? I had an inkling I was pregnant. He had a friend come over and we had fixed a spaghetti dinner. And we were drinking red wine, and I thought, God, I love this red wine. It's really good. Which I normally didn't like red wine. And I thought, I wonder if I'm pregnant. And I stopped drinking just because I thought, not funny. I stopped. And that happened with my son, too. I was in the middle of drinking a beer. We were all at dinner. And I thought, I might be pregnant. I just put it right down.
Really?
Yeah. But both times I was right.
I don't know about your mom, but my mom drank through the entire time she was pregnant with me.
Oh, really?
Didn't matter.
Well, they did, I think. Smoked and drank.
Smoked, drank, and I don't think she ever wore a seatbelt. But that's another story.
That's the least of your worries with the drinking and smoking.
I digress.
That's hilarious. Oh, God.
I don't think she ever used birth control either.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
I don't think they were allowed to back then.
Yeah. That's why they drank and smoked.
Yeah, I know for sure. So tell me about your pregnancy.
Had morning sickness with her in the first trimester, and then it went away.
What did you do for the morning sickness?
Nothing. I'm a pro at throwing up. I just threw it in the cafeteria in a little bag, just turned my head, let it go. Real champ about it. Yeah. Just carry a little CVS bag with me and whip it up when I needed. But that wasn't very often. But I do think I did throw it in the cafeteria one time.
Really?
No one knew it was dead in there. That stuff wasn't a big deal for me, really. I mean, you just point to the belly and sorry. But other
Drank
than
too
that,
much last night.
Yeah, right.
I'll be okay by lunch.
But I felt real good during my pregnancies. And I remember someone telling me that my grandmother felt the best. Actually, she told me the best she ever felt was when she was pregnant. It was a good pregnancy, hard delivery.
My hair got so full and my nails became really strong. Maybe that's all the vitamins you take.
prenatal vitamin?
Yeah. My skin looked really good.
That didn't stand out to me.
You never looked in the mirror?
Safe to say no.
So when you felt good, what was it? Just you had more energy or?
I guess probably more energy. More energy, felt good. Maybe I was anticipating on feeling bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just felt so grateful that I wasn't feeling bad, that I thought I felt good.
Did you gain a lot of weight?
No, not a whole lot. I think what are you supposed to not go over 30? I think I may have done 35, 40. So I stayed pretty much on track.
What foods were you so into?
Oh my God. I didn't have much of a sweet tooth up until my first pregnancy. And then after that, I love ice cream and stuff like that. Plain desserts. I'm not real gooey. Hot fudge sundae. And we used to live...
So the same stuff you love now, just more of it.
Yeah. When I was younger, I guess I just didn't seek it out, It was nothing like I had to have. But now, oh my God. But when I was pregnant with my daughter, I would go up to Bennigan's and get their warm brownie with the Hot fudge, yeah,
Yeah.
that I had to have. That's the only craving I had. I didn't have any weird stuff or anything like that. I had to have that brownie sundae.
Do you remember that deli that was near the office? I think it was called the Georgetown Deli. I would go up there every morning and have bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches
Oh,
on those
really?
big Kaiser rolls. Every shortcoming they have, it's because I ate too many of those bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. That's what I craved.
And my mood was good. Like, I wasn't like, these people, I'm hormonal and, I'm irrational. I never got that.
I wasn't when I was pregnant, but after I gave birth, I was a crazy person with the hormones, yeah.
And I never experienced that. When I went into the hospital, I didn't scream either at my husband. Like, you son of a bitch, you did
Was
this
he
to
there?
me. Yeah, he was there. I remember snickering at hearing the other women in labor pain. First of all, when I am nervous, I laugh. It was not nice, but I could hear these moans and groans, and I would just start snickering because it sounded funny from my room. You see what's happening, you just hear it. I remember my husband looking at me and going, "You have got a lot of nerve." I was just like, oh my God, my turn's coming. Someone's in the other room snickering at me for it. I don't care. But it was just so funny.
Tell us
Yeah.
about it. How was your delivery?
Both my kids were late, but my daughter was 2 weeks late. And I literally took 6 months off maternity leave. I'm not one of these for working up to the day you deliver. I took 2 weeks off before my due date because I was like, this is the last 2 weeks I'll ever have in this lifetime for me. And then she was 2 weeks late. It was nice. I'm glad I did it. She just didn't want to come out. They induced me, and she still didn't want to come out. I got my payback for the snick.
Yeah. Was your ex snickering the whole time? Or?
No. And you know what? I didn't want him in the room. Personally, I don't think guys should be in the room. I don't think there's anything they can do. I don't think they need to see you like that. It's just no reason for it, in my opinion. I didn't want him to be a part of it. I didn't want it held against me. So I told him the decision was ultimately his. But then the nurse started incorporating him into holding the knees back. And it kind of bothered me because I was like, that wasn't my choice. She just kind of like recruited him. And then there he was.
All up in your junk while
Yeah.
your knees are
Yeah.
up in your chin.
Yeah. It's just not necessary, So, yeah, no, he wasn't snickering. He's very weak at the sight of blood, so it probably traumatized him. So then she finally came. I needed the forceps to help get her out because I was just so weak from pushing.
Well, how long were you in labor?
Checked in the hospital Friday at 4 o'clock and had her Sunday morning at 10:03. So it was a long time.
Did you have the epidural?
Yes. That was amazing. Well, my mom and my sister were in there too for a while. And I remember being in pain, giving you the epidural. And all of a sudden, you wait the 20 minutes, you feel the coolness go down your legs, and all of a sudden you're like, so, do they have coffee for you guys in the cab? It's just like all of a sudden, nothing's happening. And it's freaky that they can stop the pain from your pelvis down. It's the freakiest thing.
I didn't use it.
Are you okay to this day?
I wanted
Do you
to
still
feel
pee
the
out of your
pain.
vagina? Or does it come out the back, the top of your crack?
Yeah, it hurt. Did natural both times.
It's even braver the second time knowing what you were in for.
My reason for doing it is stupid. First, I don't like needles, so I didn't want the needle in my spine. That freaked me out more than the pain. When you were taking your prenatal classes, did they give you a tour of the maternity ward?
Yes.
When I did that, they had a room for people who did natural, and it was like a regular bedroom. When I did that tour, I'm like, I'm going to be in that room. I paid for that room, but I got it. It was all the way at the end of the hall, and it was like a regular bedroom.
I think I would have been comforted. The overhead light, the emergency equipment next to me.
The beeping
bedroom
of
would
your
have scared
heartbeat.
The bedroom would have scared the hell out of me. It would not have been comforting sight to me.
I slept hard because I was exhausted.
How long of a delivery did you have?
My son was 16 hours, which wasn't too bad. My daughter was maybe 6 hours. Second one was so easy.
Yeah.
It was like a fart. So much easier, so much less stressful. You've been through it before. The fear of the unknown with the first one, and your body's not conditioned to it. The second one, third one, your body's conditioned. It's been through it. It knows what to do. You know what to do. It's not as scary.
So, did you plan your daughter?
I planned both of them because I'm a Virgo. I plan everything. I wanted to get pregnant in July so I could play in a beach volleyball tournament in September.
I mean, talk about planning.
Yeah, and I didn't know if I could do it or not, do the planning. I thought this is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be so hard to get pregnant. I'm going to have, because I want it, I'm not going to get it. I went off the birth control maybe 3 months before. I did buy those ovulation kits, and they're $25 a piece. I think I bought a whole bunch of them and just kept using them so I could tell when my body was ovulating. And then I could grab Butch. Hi, honey. Come here.
Come here.
Like he didn't know. He didn't know what was going on. So yeah, mine was so easy. I just
Okay.
used those ovulation kits.
And so, did you get pregnant in July?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I even did the ovulation. I don't know if it's a myth, and I can't even remember the details. But if have sex the day before you're going to have a boy.
Oh,
and
right.
Yeah,
They
I
say
even
that's
did all
pretty
that.
accurate.
I got my boy and got my girl, and I could stop.
Did you get your girl when you wanted your girl, and your boy when you wanted your
My
boy?
girl in July, so I could play in the same tournament in September.
Wow, so you are really something. That's incredible.
It really is. And listening to other people, what they go through, there's two schools. There's the teenagers that are getting pregnant when they don't want to. Then there's the middle-aged woman that desperately wants to get pregnant and can't. So I was kind of in between that, where I was able to plan it and it worked out the way I wanted. Life doesn't normally go like that. My life doesn't go like that. Why it worked out like that, I don't know. The other thing that really freaked me out was how fertile I was. Think about all of those pregnancies that you wouldn't want to have and how easy it was for me to get pregnant. Like, how did that happen? I just had so much gratitude the way that my pregnancies went. Nothing was lost on me that, wow, I got pregnant so easy. And that could have happened before I wanted it to
Right.
with somebody I didn't want it to. So I was very grateful. And like you, I have got the female Irish body. We're built for it. My
Right.
pregnancy was amazing.
Yeah.
I love being pregnant. I only gained 30 pounds, had no problem losing the weight after. I think you're supposed to gain the weight because you expand so much energy in that first month after the baby comes. You need that extra weight. Mine was so easy, both of them. I was really, really lucky.
Yeah, I
Very
was
grateful.
lucky too that both times I threw caution to the wind, both times I got pregnant. Okay, Carol, was Butch in the room with you when you had your baby, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel a little bit differently than you. I think the dad needs to be there. The mom carries the baby for 9 months. We get to know the baby. The baby is a part of us, but the dad doesn't really get to share in that. I mean, he could put his hand on her stomach and maybe feel the baby kicking, but we're really intimate with the baby while we're carrying it. Their first really interaction with the baby is in that delivery room. That's the first opportunity. I think it's important, and Butch really enjoyed cutting the umbilical cord. I don't know why he thought that was so special, but he did. I think because he felt so helpless watching me that when he could actually get into action and do something,
Yeah.
he felt good about it. At the same time, it was a bit annoying because he was listening to Meatloaf in his headphones so loud and on the little couch under the window while I'm having contractions. It was so annoying. The other thing is, I didn't want to have any medications. I wanted to have natural childbirth. His directions were to watch what was happening around me and watch out for me because I couldn't do that for myself. He was really busy listening to Meatloaf. It was nice having him in there. I gave birth to my son, and there was some commotion in the room, like something wasn't right. I'm holding my son, so I knew he was okay. And they kept saying, do you feel anything? What? And they're like, you haven't delivered the placenta.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And they're like trying to decide what to do. They wanted to give me an epidural, But they're like, we can't give her an
Yeah,
epidural.
not after you just.
Because she just gave birth, just to get the placenta out. The doctor kept tugging on the umbilical cord that was still attached to me, to the placenta, and trying to like yank it out, but it wasn't coming. Must have had a conference. I didn't care. Holding him, he's beautiful. It's a miracle. I'm thinking my work is done here. Well, the doctor sticks his hand up there, grabs the placenta, and like yanks it out. I screamed. It was worse than giving birth. And then I had a lot of blood from that, so I thought I was bleeding to death. But they assured me, they're like, no, this is normal. Okay. The other thing is, I wanted my parents in the room. You know, they're kind of old school. They didn't want to be in there, but they were right outside the room. They heard me scream the second time. They didn't know what was going on. They thought something happened, which it was bad, but it wasn't a crisis. They came in after and they're like, what happened? You know, had trouble with the placenta. They had to yank it out. Then when they wheeled me out to my bedroom at the end of the hall, the nurses, they're like, did you have twins? They all thought I had twins.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's what it sounded like. That I was doing it again 2 times. So that was the only complication I had. But I was glad Butch was in the room with me through all of that. He was sort of my rock. And I think it was great. He got to see the baby. He was like the proudest dad. He was glad it kind of looked like him.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, but there's no right or wrong. It's whatever the mom wants. The mom's totally in charge, in my mind.
I still wouldn't change my mind. You do something and then you go back and you look. I still stick to my guns on that one.
Was your ex in the room the second time?
No.
You wouldn't let him in?
No. Well, the first one I had back labor.
I had that too.
Now, I'm going to ask you this for poor moms out there that don't know what back labor is, because I hear different definitions of it. Some people that say the pain is like in your back, like it just says back labor. But I was getting all of my pain in my butthole. It was as if someone was putting an air hose and pumping air into my insides, no place to expand. Is that what you had?
Yeah.
That was just horrible, and that really scared me for the second time. But this doctor knew I was scared. I went to a different hospital in the same area. You know, all I had to do was say, I think I feel a little something. And boom, she had them there ready to go put more into my epidural. So I didn't feel it. I was really surprised by that. I thought back labor was in your back, not in your butt. Also, for new moms out there, I was so exhausted from pushing with my daughter that they had to use a forceps and really yank, apparently. I was pretty much out of it. With my son, they wanted to put that suction thing on his head, and I swore I would never do that, but I did it because my logic was, if it was anything like the first one, I would have pushed until I was exhausted, and they would have had to rely solely on that, which I did not want. Little help, we could get him out, and I was strong at the time, strong enough to do it, get him out, and so everything turned out fine. That's just something to think about. You know, if you think you're going to need any assistance and you're so dead set against it, you really don't want to get to the point where they're relying on that tool. You want to assist with it, in my opinion.
I was told I was an efficient pusher.
You know what else I did? I thought I was going to come up with my own birthing class. I had this whole thing all planned out. I had bought a Walkman before I went in. I had made a CD of push music, and I was going
A push playlist?
Oh, yes, I did. And and I know 2 of the songs. I can't remember all of them, but it's so funny because I was so sure that I would get lost in the beat of the music that I would push, because the breathing thing was not doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I thought, if this works, I really got something here, and I'm going to make classes and sell them. And Under Pressure was the one song. Cannonball by the Breeders. Yeah, those were 2 of the songs, but that didn't work.
I don't think anything works. It's so painful.
As they say, it's the worst to endure and the easiest to forget. Very
I think there's
true.
some kind of amnesia hormone that kicks in afterwards. Because why would you ever do that again? There's no way you're even going to have sex again. So, Cheryl, it's been great chatting with you today about giving birth to your kids. Such a miracle. So much uncertainty and then mixed emotions, joy, pain.
And before you know it, they're adults. So
I know. Thank God.
don't sweat it.
So I'd like to invite our listeners to comment on our Conversations with Carol and Cheryl Facebook page, our Carol and Cheryl Instagram. Let us know how your pregnancies went, how your labor was, your birth, and also let us know if you think the dad should be in the room with you while you're in labor.
And I'd also like to know if anyone also created their own playlist.
Their own pushing playlist?
Yep. Did
Yeah.
you create a push playlist?
What was the number one song? All right, Cheryl. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.